We're live. Hey guys, we'll give everyone a second to hop on, get that little notification alert. Hey guys, we'll give everyone, and then we'll get started. I'm just gonna wait here and just.
Can you scroll down on there?
For some friends to join us.
Like, so we can see if anyone's watching.
Oh,
Scroll down.
It doesn't let me scroll down anymore. Well, there we go. Itchy nose.
Two are waiting, not watching.
Well, it started, so.
That's weird.
Should I refresh it?
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
Okay, guys, if you're joining us, just go ahead and let us know in the chat box so we can say hi to you guys. It is a bit of a busy week for us.
Yeah, it is busy.
Yes, spring has sprung.
Got a lot going on.
Yeah, we are working on getting our chicks adjusted to being outside and a new setup. Hey, Drew.
Hey, Drew.
Good to see you here. And what else are we doing?
Everything.
Yeah.
We're gardening and we're
I know. I just planted a
we're cutting
bunch.
down trees.
I planted a bunch of seeds yesterday in the garden, so that was pretty exciting. And they'll probably take a little bit to germinate. But Hey, Laura. Oh yeah, I hope Ashley can make it. Sunny and warm in California. Well, it is fairly warm here. Not quite sunny, but it is definitely warm. It's like 68 degrees, and we let the horses out into the pasture today, and I thought they would have so much fun running, but they were like, nope, we are going to take one step out into the pasture, and we are just going to eat all the grass.
Super anticlimactic. Very
anticlimactic, and I recorded the whole thing and was just like, well, nothing happening. So, hey, Miss K, a micro farm starter. Hey, Josh. How are you doing tonight? Are you working right now? And hello, Rose. Hello, my beautiful friend. So I thought we would kind of take it low key again this week just because life's a little busy. So we're just trying to kind of keep up with things and doing a Q&A I thought would be a fun way to just chat with you guys because it's a little busy for me to kind of organize the more formal lives.
Yeah, topical lives.
Yeah. Who is that?
Who?
Our neighbor.
Oh, you're not looking at the computer.
No, I'm not looking at the computer. I was like pointing at you guys. So let's see. I wanted to say hello, alternative smallholding. I'm glad you were able to stop by for a little bit. And K&A's Family Homestead. I don't think I've seen you on here before. Nice to see you. Can you introduce yourself? Where are you from? What's your name? Getting to leave and head home for the weekend. I'm so glad to hear that, Josh. And you work like a lot of traveling hours.
Crazy.
It's insane that you're able to keep up with it. Hopefully the summer slows down a little bit.
We got Tiffany on as well.
Hey, Tiffany. So somebody asked about what?
And Little Cassidy Homestead.
Oh, I missed that. Hey, Little Cassidy Homestead. How are you tonight? Somebody asked about our trees. Let's see, scroll up here. How are your trees doing? Was wondering how far apart you planted them. So our trees, I just looked at them. Oh, crazy cat in the background. I just looked at them the other day, and some of them are starting to get little buds on them and even getting close to blossoming. And then others just are still pretty dormant. Which is fine. It's just started warming up here, so we're just starting to get out of the freezing temps, really. But it went from like here to like here. So yeah, we have no freezing temps in the forecast.
Like the next few days are going to be highs in the 70s.
Yeah,
it was 70 today, and then it's going to continue to be in the 70s through Saturday.
Yeah, we have literally no frost in the forecast in the next 10 days, which is really exciting. Kind of confusing because our estimated last frost is May 3rd. So I might actually risk it with just a couple things, not all of one thing, but I might just put a couple tomatoes out early or put a couple, seed a couple things early because we are getting such warm days. So the soil is going to warm up really quick. So we'll see what happens. But Might as well just like experiment a little bit with a couple things since I have like hundreds of tomatoes and hundreds of peppers, and although peppers aren't going in for a little while.
Yeah.
But our trees seem to be doing well, and we planted them pretty spaced apart, about 20 to 30 feet for the bigger trees.
Tried to roughly follow the recommendations from the nursery. We gave them a really good watering after we first planted them, and then they got 1 or 2 days of rain afterwards as well. So they should be really nice and moist, and we'll obviously keep watering them. We'll give them
the ground is pretty. The ground was pretty moist to begin with too. Can you just move him for a second? I'm like stuck in this corner. He is making it difficult to keep track of things. Let's see. We are in zone 6A in upstate New York, but it's so interesting because just like south of us even, they're in zone 5. And then you go up north and you have people in zone 4. And so there's a lot of microclimates going on. And we have one here in Rochester where we have a much earlier last frost. Then like I buy my seeds from a company called Fruition Seeds, and they're just 45 minutes away really. And they have an estimated last frost of late May, and ours is in early May. It's just so fascinating. Whoa.
The earthquake.
Hi, Angel
returns.
from Massachusetts, going on 2.5 years still. Lots to learn. What are you doing on your homestead in Massachusetts? Brenda, it's all about the soil temp. Yes, it is. And ours are just getting warm enough. Like my radishes are all germinating, so that's really exciting. I noticed my peas were germinating, so it's really warming up here. Tiffany, oh no, I hope that they make it through those storms. We'll definitely be keeping your trees in our prayers. And the last frost date, oh yeah, it's so hard to find out your last frost. I used to look and it said May 15th, and now I'm checking and it says May 3rd. So I don't know if I was looking at the wrong, like, you know, there's the percentiles, right? One's like you're 80% out of the clear, one's you're 50%. So it's very confusing. And yes, alternative smallholding, sacrifice plants. I think that's a good like plan to have a few different experimental things, because we have more than we need, and we're not going to waste it. But if we could get early tomatoes, that would be pretty cool.
In the ground, and then you are successful. That's just awesome.
Yeah, especially things that are a little bit more frost tolerant. I need to get lentils in the ground. Guys, I'm growing lentils, so that should be really fun. And those need a really long season. They like a cool season. So they're not going to do well in your southern states. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and plant lentils hopefully this weekend. Bad storms. Yeah, Rose, I saw that. I think you posted that on Facebook. Oh, hail, tornadoes. That's not fun. Yeah, so Brenda, yes, so you're close, but 5A, which is so interesting, right? Because that's like a zone away. It is the effect of on Lake Ontario, the Great Lakes, and the way we're situated here. It's really fascinating actually, because we're north, but we actually have a longer and a warmer season than if you go south. Although we get a lot of snow, so if we're gonna go things in the winter, you really need a low tunnel or a high tunnel.
The closer you get to the lake takes takes longer than the air to both heat up and cool down. So you stay a little bit warmer in the winter and a little bit cooler in the summer than a lot of the other areas in upstate New York. Yeah,
Brenda, I shared on Facebook a calendar for like when you can plant what based on your city and state, and it was on the Farmer's Almanac. It's really interesting. Definitely check that out just to see like how early you can get started in upstate New York. Microclimates galore. Okay, so remind me where you are. I know you're across the pond, alternative smallholding. What's that sound?
I think it's geese.
Oh, weird sounds. Spring comes with lots of sounds. Let's see. Did we start more cabbage? Laura, okay, so I did not start cabbage seeds yet. I could start some more. I actually might start direct sowing some and start some from seed. I'm going to put up a little load tunnel with some row cover, and I have like the hoop things. And so I'm going to do that and try to direct sow just to protect them from like the cabbage moths. And then I'm going to go ahead and try direct seeding. Maybe I'll do that tonight because I just got more Bootstrap Farmer trays. So I finally have more room. I had no trays left. I had nowhere to put anything. So I got 10 in the mail and I'm really excited. Those are awesome. Lentils, I'm so excited about lentils, Little Cassidy Homestead. We don't eat them a lot, but it's a great plant-based protein and we're looking forward to it.
So we got a couple of people that have joined.
From Zero to Homestead, hey, how are you doing? It's good to see you. You were an early supporter and we really appreciate that.
Two wild onions.
Two Wild Onions, how's it going? How are the goats doing? The ones that you gave to Stiver's Homestead. I have to watch that video.
And Cheryl's here.
Cheryl.
Yeah,
hey,
Homestead
Cheryl.
Islands.
How are you? And hello, Andy's Tennessee Life and Homestead. We're doing good. We are just doing a little Q&A today. Thanks for joining us. And it's always fun to talk to you guys. It's like really fun to hear your questions.
Really enjoyable.
That's so funny that you say that, Brenda, that you're putting a roof on this week because we're doing the same thing on our barn and the weather is killing us. Like he had to cancel the roof project because of the rain, and then
I was really hoping it would work out, but the forecast is just pretty much rain all day tomorrow, all day Sunday, and a little bit potentially or all day Saturday and a little on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Just too dicey, and we have a lot going on because we're going to be going on a little trip next week. So. Yeah,
totally. We're going to Mexico. We won a trip on Instagram. So I think we shared it in one of our early videos. I think it was the Back to Eden gardening video. We shared that we won a trip on Instagram, so we're going. Let's see. Somebody else asked a question. Oh, that's awesome. K&A's Family Homestead. Natural foods and resources. Yeah, super passionate about that. It's what we want to do for us and for our future kiddos if we're lucky to have kids. We're not fully vegan farming because we have chickens. And we use their eggs. We also have goats that are rescues, but we use their bedding in our garden. And so that's not fully vegan because vegans wouldn't use animal compost generally. So we're not fully vegan. And we also eventually will hope to have honeybees. So yeah, for us, it's more of like the balance really with respecting the animals, and then also just growing our food in the garden. But yeah, we don't really use the label vegan. We used to, but then the more it just becomes a little problematic because sometimes people don't like when you use it if you're not 100% that way. Yeah. So let's see. From MS, is that Mississippi?
Yes.
Mississippi, hello. We've been to we have a friend that lives in Mississippi and we went to Kentucky to visit him when he was in Kentucky. You're meeting other YouTubers tomorrow. That's fun. A young couple like us. Yes, that sounds really cool. Have we met people from YouTube yet in real life?
No.
Not yet.
No.
I wonder who will be the first.
It's not really anyone around this area.
There are a few that want. Brenda's not too far.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if you meant YouTube content creators. Or...
Oh, yeah. I thought of you all when I saw a couple. Oh, great windows on Marketplace. Yeah, we actually found some windows for the doors, like the barn doors. That was really exciting.
Which we got.
What?
Did you say we found?
Yeah, we found some windows.
Okay,
we're still probably going to get some more for the barn. Let's see. Do you still have rabbits? Yes, we do still have the rabbits and the adorable rabbit castle. I'm actually going to be working on bonding the rabbits this summer once I get the female fixed spayed. And so then all three of them will be together, like kind of like free roaming the basement, and they'll be able to use that bunny castle anytime they want. So that should be interesting. Yeah, so Josh, they don't use animal products. So really just vegans generally, it's not all. I mean, there's labels and people don't always fit 100%. I think the labels can be silly sometimes, but yeah, that can be an issue when looking for fertilizers for garden. Vegans can have a hard time. Hello, Plants and Passion. How are you doing tonight? Let's see. You want to be the first, Rose? Yes, I'd love for you to be the first. And we just need to go down to Georgia. Although I don't want to go down there right now because it sounds like you're gonna get some gnarly weather. Let's see. Oh yeah, Botter, if you went to the shindig, but Ashley didn't go, right? I didn't see her there. And Cheryl, that's really exciting that you're gonna meet somebody. Somebody else. Oh, you were in Pittsford, Carrington. That's really close to us.
You're gonna have a hard time finding us if you just go searching random suburbs.
Yeah, we're not really in the suburbs, but technically we're really close to Penfield. Let's see. You know what, Cheryl? I think it would be really epic if you could be the first person from YouTube that we met, but I don't think that's in the budget right now.
I think she's saying we should make Rose the first person we meet.
Or me.
Oh, sorry. I missed the whole part at the end.
Yeah, Brenda, there is a lot of rain in our forecast, although it looks like it's cleared up a little bit.
It's been back and forth. It'll be, it's just been too inconsistent. It's too unpredictable.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, do you want to turn the light on? It's getting really purple. Turning purple, guys. Purple Jen,
Always
purple Chris.
over here.
Oh, that's better.
That's
We're
nicer.
more pink now. Let's see. I do loud chickens. Just trying to follow the comments, guys.
I'm gonna go check on that
We
real
do
fast.
use the rabbit poop in our garden. We just use all of the stuff that's coming out, you know, because it's more sustainable to take the animal waste from our pets, not our omnivore pets like our dogs or cats, but from the herbivore pets like the goats and the horses and the bunnies, and to use their waste right in the garden. And it gives like a really nice balance of nutrients. So, and it's cool because bunnies actually, most of their diet is just like, you know, a goat, like it's mostly hay and greens. And so you can feed them things like cabbage leaves and carrot tops and radish tops, and they'll poop it out, and then you can put it right back in your garden. So it's this like cool cycle. And you can put it right in your garden. Thank you, Sam. Yeah. Yeah, there's some bad stories about farming, the way some animals are treated, which is really sad. Tiffany, definitely visit. And yeah, bring your friend from NYC. We've had people stay with us from New York City, actually. They were up in this area for a wedding, and they stayed with us for a couple nights. And she was a musician, and she was awesome. She loved just being on a farm. It would, yeah, I'd love to meet some YouTube friends. What do we have planted in the garden? So Max Happy Homestead, great question. So right now I have brassicas. So I have cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, and cabbage. They're not doing super hot right now, and I'm not sure why, but we're really adjusting to the no-till, and I think it's gonna be a transition for the garden until we get the soil ready. But they're doing okay, and I think especially in the old garden, the one that we had used last year, they're doing better. And then I also have onions planted, although they're not doing so hot either because the weather was just really rough. It wasn't cold, just a ton of wind, and so these baby plants got like hit by like a windstorm after windstorm, and you couldn't plan for it, even though I hardened them off. So I got onions going. I direct seeded radishes and beets about close to 2 weeks ago, and the radishes are coming up. The beets aren't quite yet. It's just a little chilly, the soil. It'll be soon. And then yesterday I direct seeded more kale, more greens, mustard greens, a flowers borage. Borage is a beautiful flower that you really want to direct sow. So some really fun stuff like that. And I have a bunch of stuff growing in the grow room right now. Like I started flowers, and I started sesame yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday. Sesame, chia, rice. I'm like counting weird on my fingers. Sesame, chia, rice, and what else? Rosemary, which takes a while, so I was probably a little late on that one. A bunch of cool things. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, like the sesame and the rice. Oh, and quinoa. So we're growing quinoa this year. That makes me excited. Yeah, so Josh, you can get good soil to grow veggies with just compost from plants. It just, as you can imagine, takes a lot of good compost to do that. Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, alternative smallholding. Yeah, it's really sustainable when you have animals that you're giving a good life to, and then you can just use their waste in your garden, because it just, what are you going to do with it? They're not going to do anything with it. It's actually going to make their space worse, you know, if you don't clean it up. And once you compost it, it decreases the smell, which decreases the flies and all of those things. I'm trying to answer questions. We are in zone 6A, Plants and Passion, although some people think we're in zone 5. If you look on a map, it's 6, and that makes me happy. That's like a total win in my mind. Yeah, so Homestead in Highlands, Cheryl. I want to build a bunny tractor for our bunnies, just to be able to let them have most in the summer when it's cool, but not like when it's cool but not too hot. Let them outside while I'm out with them, and so they can have lots of time outside, because I would love that. Eventually, I want to create like a bunny shed attached to the barn that has like an attached run that's all predator proofed, so that they can be out there when the weather is decent. Yeah, that's awesome, Max. Happy Homestead. What do you guys have going in the garden right now? And I'm jealous that you have a greenhouse. And I agree, Egocentric Homestead, about borage being a good pollinator. It's also really, really beautiful. It's a beautiful purple flower, and I really love purple. And Plant and Passion asked about, or mentioned, the quinoa. So I'm going to be sharing a video in just a little bit about like different plant-based proteins that you can grow right in the garden. So things like quinoa and lentils and black beans and soybean and spinach, all sorts of different things, because I think it's fun, and I think a lot of these things people don't think about. We're growing garbanzo beans and we're growing sesame seed, so we could technically make hummus completely from the garden.
Mm-hmm.
It might not happen this year, but it's more like the idea.
Yeah.
And we could do like hummus 5 ways. You could have cilantro hummus, red pepper hummus, garlic hummus, all things grown like 100%. That makes me so excited.
Habanero hummus.
Habanero hummus. Ooh, yum. Jalapeno hummus. Let's see. Amaranth. Yes, I'm growing amaranth. Alternative smallholding. Amaranth and quinoa. Amaranth, I believe you direct sow, and quinoa I'm starting. Also, I found out that quinoa grows wild. It's not the same. It's a little different, but wild quinoa, also known as, what's it called? Lamb's ear? No, lamb's quarter. Lamb's quarter grows all over this region, and I've seen it, you know, as a little baby, but when it sprouts, it's actually called wild quinoa, I believe. I think you can use it. I don't know enough about it, but I just got really excited about that. Let's see. Enlightening hits the ground. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lamb's quarters.
Lamb's quarters. Yeah. So isn't that wild quinoa, Rose? Because I was reading that. And can you
So she planted it, so it's not super wild.
well, you can plant anything that's,
I know.
Yeah, it's like dandelion.
You know.
Lamb's quarter. We have so many lamb's quarter. So much of it grows. It's a weed, like a crazy weed here. It goes everywhere. Rough Draft Farmstead. Interesting stuff about phosphorus in manure compost. It's rough. Interesting. Yeah. I'm interested to see how our soil does this year. I'm not expecting a great outcome just because of all the changes to it, but I know it's going to be really amazing in the long run because we already have pretty good soil.
At least in the new beds, especially.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Our bed from last year,
Should
I don't see why it would be drastically different from last year.
Yeah, and everything did really, I mean, not everything did well. Most things did well.
We had success for as little knowledge as we had last year.
Yeah, the tomatoes did really well. The peppers did really well, and that's honestly my biggest concern this year. It's related to quinoa. That's interesting, Rose. I wanted to cultivate. I love that. Yes, it does grow. It does go wild. Let's see. Speaking of beans, in a forgotten garden, random green string pole beans. I don't know. Rose, do you think that that Brenda can just cook random green string pole beans? I can't see why not. I can't imagine them being poisonous. I'm really itchy, so I'm thinking I got a bug bite. Ugh.
Probably. It's getting to be that time of year.
It's the time of year where there are bugs. Oh, so you let the beans replant themselves. That means you leave the pods so that the pods fall and replant themselves? Because I don't think I've ever done that. I mean, I didn't do that last year. I'm really curious to see. I've been like going out in the garden like every day and looking to see what things are are popping up, volunteer plants. And I have one variety of lettuce in one of the raised beds that is just popping up everywhere in the raised bed. It's just like this big, huge patch of lettuce. It's super fun. It made me really excited. Thanks, Martha. We really appreciate it. All the animals are really sweet, and I want to get some more videos of them. It's been I feel like it hasn't been very animal heavy lately, but.
Is vinegar on a bug bite? Is that a solution? Have you heard of that before?
I think so.
I don't think
I've also heard lavender oil on a bug bite keeps down the itch pretty significantly. So, yeah. If you have questions for us, just post them in the chat.
Fire along.
So we can answer any questions. I actually had some questions that people asked me on Instagram that I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys, because I think that some people might have the same questions. Broussard Homestead, hello. Yes. How are you? And congrats on 1,000 subscribers. I think I saw that on Facebook. That's awesome. Yes, Homestead in the Highlands. His eye problem was gone in a week. And once we treated it, it cleared up immediately. Yeah,
just a little bit of
whatever
what's that, antibiotic? I don't remember.
The antibiotic or whatever that she gave us to treat.
Just a little ointment.
Totally fine now, and he is enjoying the grazing time. They're out there. Can you see them?
I can't see them right here. But
they're out there enjoying the grass for sure.
Beautiful sunset tonight.
That's awesome, Broussard. Yeah, I'm really excited for you guys. It's such a good feeling. We were so excited when that happened for us. It was very sudden, because of a shout out. It jumped very quickly. We were not expecting it at all, so it was very surprising. So in some ways, I feel like I didn't appreciate it because it was so quick. But it's slow now. So you're growing potatoes, squash, zucchini, corn, tomatoes, peas, beans, okra. Okay, so you're sprouting some watermelon in the greenhouse. That's cool. Wow, so many things. Yeah, we have a bunch of different watermelon that we're growing this year, but the watermelon that we're growing are all direct seed watermelon that can grow in New York. So that is exciting. Let's see.
Tiffany asked how the barn renovation's going.
How's the barn going?
It is honestly not that far different from when we last talked. I got a little bit accomplished this weekend, but we had some pretty cold weather this weekend, and so it's kind of miserable to be working outside.
Yeah, you got the dormer mostly done.
Yeah, the dormer's mostly done. I just have to put the roof portion on, the sheathing. But it's been kind of slow this past week. We've been working on other projects just as the weather's warmed up.
Yeah.
Just trying to tackle a lot of things that we need to in order to get our affairs in order for our farm sitter and everything. And protecting our garden, trying to get a garden fence is probably next on my list this weekend to take care of so that we can make sure there's no animals getting in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the barn renovation's kind of a little on the back burner at the moment. But
and we want to free range the chickens, but the chickens go straight to the garden.
Exactly. So we'll be picking that up in the next week and a half probably again.
Mm-hmm. The Max Happy Homestead. So you guys are trying to get 2,000. That's awesome. I'll have to go watch some of your videos. I don't think I've had a chance. I've been so busy. Busy. Rose will tell you.
It's been hard to watch anyone's videos. This past 2 weeks, pretty much.
I'm trying to. Are we building ourselves? The barn, we are not building it, but we're renovating it ourselves. So that should be fun. The roof is probably going on in the next couple weeks, and then we'll be painting it and replacing the door and centering the door.
Yep.
And after that, we'll be going to redo the inside of the barn, and that will be
we'll have a video up on each of those little phases as well.
Yeah,
as they happen. So once the dormer is complete, we'll do a video on that and have that put up, and you'll see the roof and you'll see all the different steps.
Yeah. Hey Kim, how's it going? What are you up to tonight? And yeah, you're right, Butter. A lot of people are not watching TV and they're just kind of watching YouTube, and I think it's a really good platform to show people authentic lives. So yeah.
Little Cassidy asked about our fencing that we're going to be using in the garden.
Oh, I'm really excited about the fencing.
Yeah. So right now,
cattle panels, right?
Probably. I was just trying to think over the cost of that today, honestly. but either some kind of welded wire or cattle panels of some sort.
Yeah, sometimes we want it to be really firm, and so we want to be able to do basically like boards outside of some sort of wire fencing, so that it like looks really clean and has not a lot of clean lines to it.
Right now, we just have to get a temporary fence up though, because I don't have the time to go through digging all the post holes and everything.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna throw some T-posts in this weekend, probably take the fencing that we had from last year and use that up, and then maybe buy a little bit more to use the temporary
Yeah,
fencing.
I might buy some welded wire too and put it on the back, because our garden is right next to our horse pasture, and so there's already a fence there, so I might just take some welded wire and put it along that pasture, because I do want to direct seed some more peas in the back area, so they'll grow along that fence. Although I don't know if horses eat peas. I don't know. We'll see.
Probably would try.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
know
how
the
they
goats
would.
would. The goats
Yeah.
eat everything. I planted a rose. So you guys will find this funny. I planted a rose bush near the chicken coop because it's a climbing rose. So the plan is for it to climb along the chicken run, and then it will drop petals, and the petals are really good for chickens. So I planted it, and then I realized, oh gosh, it gets too much shade by this one tree that will fill out soon. And so then I was like, okay, I have to move it. And so then I go and I dig a hole, and then I get ready to put it in, and I realized that one of the branches was reaching into the goat pen, and the goats were immediately eating it. I'm like, nope, that's not gonna work. So then I dug a third hole. Well, he dug it because I was too wiped after the first two holes. And so I dug a third hole and finally planted it there. So
Brenda, are you referring to that show called Bless This Mess that we've been seeing commercials for?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you have. You just probably don't remember the name.
That's funny.
But yeah, that looks so overplayed to me. Like they have like one scene where they show the woman, like a cow walks up to her, and then she like climbs up a ladder and gets herself stuck on the roof because she's afraid of the cow. And like they fall through the floor and in the house in the commercial. I don't know.
Interesting.
Looks a little played up.
Yeah, probably. Alternative Smallholding says YouTube is real people in real time. Yeah, it's very true. And that's something I'm working on, is like, how can we be as authentic as possible in our YouTube videos and just be who we are. Like, it's really tempting to just post videos that you know people will want to see. And I don't want to post things that people don't want to see, but at the same time, I do want to post things that are like, this is what I'm feeling today, or this is what I'm thinking about. And so I'm trying to do that. And that way, if people are following us, following our journey here, that they're getting who we are, and they're not just getting like a manufactured version of ourselves. So you canceled Netflix and swapped it for Epidemic Sound. Yeah, Epidemic Sound's so expensive though. It's like $15 a month. I'm gonna wait until we can monetize before we add any sort of subscriptions. But it is awesome, and I love the music available. So that seems like a good choice. Interesting. Yeah, makes city folk look stupid.
Oh, because they're city folk moving to a farm, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Peas, yeah, I've heard the leaves are really good from peas. Actually, I know some people recommend growing peas in the fall here just for the leaves, because sometimes it doesn't have enough time to grow into the pea pods. Laura, cilantro reseeds itself, I believe, and sometimes it can overwinter, but it does reseed itself because it bolts really easily, and so you'll end up probably getting cilantro in the same place where you planted it. And Brenda, cattle panels, yeah, in Canada it's like $80. They're 23 here, I think.
Yeah, 22 or 23.
23. They're not cheap, but they're not outrageous
No,
either.
it adds up fast.
It does,
sure.
if you're getting a lot of them, and oftentimes you are needing a lot of them. The stems and the leaves of peas when you have, yeah, so my question, Cheryl, with the peas is, if I grow them along a fence line that the horses are in, are they going to eat them? I don't want them
before
to eat
we
them.
can eat them.
Yeah. 21. Yeah. So Tiffany, yeah, they're not too expensive in most places. And Butter's talking about Epidemic Sound. Yeah, makes sense. Totally. Yeah, we're using Ben Sound, but I am trying to play most of my own music going forward. I just have had a hard time finding time to write music, and then I don't really know how to make it work for videos. So I do want to just like sit with my guitar and just record some little strums. I don't know. I do want to do that. So
Ecocentric Homestead says that homesteaders should grow trellis building materials.
so trees, big trees. I actually saw a DIY trellis tutorial today, a wooden trellis, and I really want to do that because I love cattle panel trellising, but I think for one area specifically of our yard, I want to have a trellis that looks a little bit more, I don't know, formal, I guess.
So somebody on
Established.
the Friends of Roots and Refuge Facebook group, that I don't know if you saw this one, they had like a tunnel of trellises.
Yeah, I've
like
seen
an
that
entrance to the
before.
garden. It was
That's pretty
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Trellis tunnel. Yeah, that's a good idea, Tiffany, to have some recipes with pea leaves and stems. Yeah, I haven't seen any. We just made, for dinner, we made like sauteed sweet potato, tempeh, kale, and that probably would be a great thing to use, like pea leaves and, you know, anything where you're sauteing greens. I'm sure it would be good. I'll have to go back. Yeah, so the renovations for the barn. So we have a video about our plan for the barn renovation, and then we haven't done any videos quite yet about the barn renovation itself. I think we're going to wait until we're finished to really show the whole thing, and then maybe we'll release some other videos related to specific projects.
Yeah, there'll
on
be
the
project
barn.
videos along the way. Like the dormer video will probably be next up eventually.
Well, I don't know. I think we might wait until after. I don't know. We'll see. We don't know yet. We haven't talked about it. Can you raise chickens with rabbits in the same area? Honestly, you can. I wouldn't. They're such different animals, and rabbits really, like, you need a really clean environment for rabbits. They eat different things, and you really want an environment with rabbits where they have a lot of space to graze on, you know, greens, and chickens. They're just so different. I wouldn't raise them together. I've heard you can, but I don't think it would be good for either of them, you know? So somebody asked about bamboo, growing bamboo. Oh, about the growing trellising. Yeah. I think you can grow bamboo in California. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm really excited to do cattle panel trellises. And little Cassidy Homestead. Yes, Jess with her arch trellising, very life-changing, especially when it comes to gardening. I hadn't even thought of that, which is so fascinating because every time I planted a melon or cucumber, I was like, what in the world do people do to trellis these? Because it doesn't really work always if you just have like a straight panel, because sometimes they, I don't know, like they don't get tall enough or something. So it's exciting to be putting those in. We have 6 cattle panels. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all 6. I might use 4 of them for now for arch trellises, and then 2 of them as like a wall trellis to do things like beans. I don't know. I have to think about it a little bit more. Or cucumbers, some things that might not cover a whole arch, and then it would just look kind of empty because we don't have as long of a growing season as Jess does in Arkansas, and so it might not look quite as exciting. So I want to think about it a little bit more. Yeah. So Pinterest has so many ideas. It's crazy. Although Pinterest sometimes is like in a different realm, I feel like, than YouTube. So like what people see on Pinterest, they might not see on YouTube. And so like, for example, if you Google cattle panel trellis, the first things that don't come up, or like cattle panel arch trellis, the first things that come up are not like tutorials on how to do it, which is really interesting to me. So there aren't like a lot of resources in the blogging world about making arch trellises with cattle panels, but they're all over YouTube, and now they're all over Pinterest. So do you have raised beds? We do have 3 raised beds, but they're very minuscule in comparison to the garden, the in-ground garden. And Brenda, how is your soil where you live? Because I honestly am such a proponent that if you have good soil, just do an in-ground bed and just mulch it really well, because you're going to have the same result in lower cost than using raised beds. Doing it free, doing the trellising free, Rose, is that what you're talking about? Wow.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how different prices are, different areas. Like it, like just, I don't know, so interesting. It is an ancient art. It's very true, Rose. And it's cool when you can use what you have. Like we have, so we have a chain link fence for our dog run, which I do not like. I do not like chain link fencing. I just find it very unattractive. So I might actually try to grow some things on that if I can. I have to figure it out a little bit more. But that way I could hide the chain link fencing a little bit and use what we have. And yeah, there's lots of cool ideas about vertical gardening for sure. Facebook group called Vertical Veg. That's awesome. I need to find that group. I love gardening groups.
Do you have another question I found there at all?
I didn't even answer any of them yet.
I couldn't remember if you brought it up
well,
yet
what happens is I open it up and then somebody asks a question. We have
Well,
12.
like, how
We
many
have
acres do you
12 and a half acres. So yeah, we use about 4 or so acres for horse pasture, and then we have like a couple acres in our front and side yard, which we're turning into gardens and food forest. We have 2 or 3 acres of just forest, like woods, yeah, just woods, maple trees, ash trees, different kinds of trees, wild blackberries. And that's really it. I mean, we have, 12 and a half. I would love to have a little bit more, but I don't think we'd be able to manage anymore, so it's fine. I do want a pond one day, though.
I'm curious if Alternative Small Holding said that they have gotten access to hops. Are you planning on brewing your own beer?
Yeah, I would love to do hops. He's a big fan of IPA beers, which are very hoppy, and I love trying them.
Rose wants hops too.
I want hops. Let's all get hops. And welcome, Mary. How are you doing? Remind me where you are joining from. The Fishes and Loaves Garden. Hello. I'm so glad you're here. You're such a pleasure to have commenting on our videos and stuff. Always so kind. Guys, when you leave kind comments, it really makes my day, just so you know. I like each one, I like really think about for a while, and so I really appreciate them. Well, welcome. How's the weather in Alabama? Your aunt in Massachusetts grows hops on her porch. It's really cool. I've heard the challenge with growing hops is like how you process it after you grow them. So I'd be interested to know, because I've heard there's like not a processing area anywhere near us, so people have a hard time. And it sounds like, Brenda, you filled a pond. So you filled a pond. No actual soil yet. Oh, okay. Yard debris. Yeah, hugelculture. Do it. Do it. You know who does hugelculture? Finch and Folly. She's on Instagram and really, really awesome. Amazing gardener, very inspiring. She's in Maine. If you're on Instagram, give her a follow. You'll be very inspired. And our Beardy too loves IPA.
It's quite the exchange. Hops and a bottle of gin for just some cucumbers.
I would like to do that kind of bartering. Hey, Jason. Oh my gosh, you're still boiling. That's awesome. I have loved following you. I feel like your experience has just been so fun because it's like just going through a lot of the things that a lot of people, very relatable for sure. Thank you, the Fishes and Loaves. Very sweet. So I had some questions on Instagram a few weeks ago and I answered them there, but I thought it'd be fun to answer some of them here. So somebody asked here how do we keep deer and rabbits out of our garden because they noticed it wasn't fenced? Well, in some ways we are very lucky because the way our property is situated, we don't have a lot of wooded area right near our house. Across the street from our house is a huge pasture and the road, and so we don't get deer really anywhere near the house. They hang out way in the back because behind our pastures we have Like there's like hundreds of acres of pastures and woods and hay fields and all of this stuff. So the deer have a lot of space to kind of hang out back there. And we have never had an issue with deer eating the garden. We hope we never do. We are putting up a fence, and we do have dogs. And the horses, they don't like going past the horses or going past the goats and all of that, because they just make lots of commotion.
And fences. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like electric tape fencing, there's just different fencing. And so it's really nice because where our orchard is situated is behind all of that. And so it's really protected, I think. So we hope it works. So that was the question they asked. And somebody else asked about rabbits. We do have rabbits, and that's why we're putting a fencing in. So any homebrew? Who homebrews? That's pretty cool. I'd like to homebrew. You have 4 wines fermenting. You know what I've heard you can do is make beer from maple saps. That would be really cool. Also, we do want to have grapes in the future, so I think it would be really cool to make our own wine. Neither of us really drink wine, but I think we would if we made it.
Yeah. It'd be something cool to get into, but I haven't actually looked into it all that much, honestly, home brewing.
Yeah.
So it would be a little bit of a learning curve to figure out where to start.
Oh, Brenda, it's what did I say? Finch and Folly. I'll just type it here because she's so sweet too. We've talked a little bit.
That's Philly. That's what you would say.
Not that. Finch and Philly. That sounds cute too, though. Okay, I'm trying to find more questions. Someone else asked if we would ever own an alpaca. Yeah, we would.
Why not?
Why? Yeah.
What reason is there not to own an alpaca?
Yeah, I mean, our big thing right now is because we're not using the animals for meat or dairy or anything like that. So if we're going to have animals here, I would prefer to rescue them instead of like buying them from a breeder or something like that. So if there was an alpaca herd or like a couple alpacas or a few alpacas that needed a home, and we had time and we had space and we had prepared for it, we would totally take them in. And it does happen here. We do have a humane society that takes in farm animals. We would probably use their wool because they get sheared anyway. So we probably use it, but it wouldn't be like, that's just such another thing we'd have to get into. And right now it's just not on our agenda. Yeah, but we would probably use it.
There's a lot of things we need to fine tune with our current animal setups.
Yeah.
Before we jump into other animal setups.
Yeah, like we want to change the way those pastures are located and stuff like that. Rose, you're building a hugelkultur raised bed. That's really cool. I would love to do it. We have so many fallen trees and a lot of rotting trees. So definitely.
I think raised bed sounds like a good idea. It's my biggest.
That's how it is. It's always raised, really.
Well, not some people dig out holes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my biggest qualm with it. Is like I don't want to dig huge trenches to do the hugelkultur.
Yeah. You made pumpkin wine. Yeah, I would love to do make homemade vodka with potatoes. That'd be cool. And then make things like, what do you make? Oh, what do you make with vodka? Like
with vodka?
Ginger. What's it called? Ginger. Moscow Mule, because we're growing ginger.
Everybody does hugelkultur.
Yeah, hugelkultur is awesome. We don't milk any of our animals because we don't breed them. Our goats were rescued, and we don't have any other animals that we would milk other than the goats. So yeah, we don't milk them because they were adopted. And we're actually not even legally. Yeah, we don't drink dairy.
So that's the first reason, but
if we did drink dairy and eat cheese and all of that, we would definitely have animals here to do that, but we don't. So yeah. Dandelion wine. That's pretty cool. Moscow mules. Yeah, Rose, have you ever made homemade vodka? Because I want to do that. I think that would be kind of the kind of video that probably wouldn't get monetized on YouTube. Vanilla orchids. My mom, Mama Woods. My mom loves orchids. I would always get her orchids for like her birthday and stuff. Hello. Somebody asked about what are our goals for this channel and what would you like to accomplish?
You can't make your own vodka, apparently.
That's what I heard, Rose, but why can't you do it? Like, I don't like that. That bothers me. Why can't you make your own vodka and your own? Like, maybe you can't, but I probably will anyways. I just won't make a video about it and I won't tell anyone. Shh. Let's see. Okay, so what are our goals for the channel? So for YouTube, I would say our biggest goals are to, let's see, I want to bridge communities. So I don't like it when I see like for example, like their homesteading community, you might see like a lot of people who identify as vegan and that community is like at odds with each other. And I like to kind of be a space in the middle where we're not doing maybe we're not one or we're not the other fully, but we're kind of embracing aspects of both. And so we're creating a new space for people to come together and to be less judgmental of each other and to be more open. So that's one thing I really want to do is just be like, hey, you don't have to fit all these boxes to be a homesteader. You don't have to, I don't know. Anyways, somebody, oh, you guys are referring to my comment. Dangers of blinding yourself and explosions
Wow.
is a bit high if making your own vodka. I did not know. I literally don't know anything about it. I don't want to explode. I don't want to. Yeah, well, thank you, Alternative Small Holding. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think like when I go, so I think what can happen sometimes if we only have one type of person representing a community, it can create this idea that like if you're A, you have to be B. And I just don't think that's always true. And so, yeah, like if you, for example, if you like look up homesteading, like skills for being a homesteader, all of them, every single list that you would look up will have something about like needing to be able to cull animals or make your own dairy or make your own cheese or all of these things. And like, you don't need those skills to be a homesteader. You just need to know how to produce your own food to live more sustainably. And I just think it's important that there are people sharing all different sides of what it means to be a homestead. Because I've had so many people comment and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm vegetarian and I had no idea I could be both a homesteader and a vegetarian or whatever. And that's silly. It's like, well, of course you can. Just start a garden and grow your own food, right? So yeah. So Patty asks if we know of any other veggie, vegan, homesteader YouTube channels. And the thing is there are channels, but they won't say that they're homesteaders. And I think it's because they don't think of that label as being accommodating for their lifestyle. So the ones that I know of that seem to be, like Back to Reality definitely seems to be vegan. I don't know if they are for sure, but they don't raise any animals.
Post very frequently, and we haven't really been able to connect to them at all. So.
I know, but they're so awesome. I want to be friends with them so badly. Back to Reality, they're super cool. There's another channel called The Vegan Athlete. He's starting a homestead in Canada, British Columbia, living in a yurt and stuff like that.
You also have like the channel Handyman, which they're both vegan.
Yeah, and they're doing like homesteading stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if they have like I'm assuming they must be growing stuff, right? I haven't really seen much of their channel, but
yeah, I don't know. Alternative Small Holding, yeah, definitely. She's on here. Go give her some love. Yeah.
You're a bit crazy though. Do you guys blow up things and blind yourselves trying to make vodka?
That's so funny. You only have hens. Yeah, we have hens. We love our hens. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm totally, you're interested, Brenda, you're interested in homesteads producing grains. It sounds hard. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm growing rice this year and quinoa, and I have no idea what to expect. Honestly, I'm going to learn as I go, so we'll see how it goes. Hello, Single Dad Homesteading. How are you doing? It's good to see you here. And Josh, are you talking about Handyman? I don't know, or probably, right?
Yeah, I don't know what else you are talking about.
You hit yourself in the face with a rake twice in one video. I love that. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, Max. Happy homestead. It was great to just chat and
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
yeah. And Tiffany and Rose are talking about grain taking a huge space commitment. Totally. Grains, things like grain, anything that you use the dried product of, I feel like to cook with, I feel like needs a lot of space. So like beans, lentils, like if you're using the dried seed, essentially, right? It's a seed that you're using. I feel like it just takes a ton of space. And I feel like for us, we have a lot of extra room that we could cultivate. We have like 2 acres in the back that we're not using. We have like a lot of room. So
yeah, those things are just further away. So we'd be much less, we'd be more prone to probably neglect those areas if we did try to grow anything back there. Because they're so far back on our property.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Joss, I could see that because he totally changed his channel a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could see. Well, it used to be really cool. I was actually looking at old videos. He had like a really cool food forest in Arizona. Yeah, so Calvin Judge, I actually disagree with that. I think homesteading is about producing your own food and you can do it all sorts of different ways. Anybody can ask questions if they have them. Brenda, I agree. I wonder how Morgan is doing. And that's a good question. Would we kill a predator? I would say I would do everything in my power first to do our part to protect the animals, including adding livestock guardian dogs and figuring out what that would entail, adding guard geese, maybe even adding a miniature donkey. If we were having serious predator issues, we would probably look into that more seriously, because predators don't go away. They're always going to be replaced by more predators. So if you're just focused on killing a predator, you're going to always have issues because the problem's going to be there. Anyways, so I just feel like for us, it's how can we do the best to protect the animals, doing our part. And so adding hardware cloth to a chicken coop or something like that instead of chicken wire, or limiting free range time, or adding additional fencing, all of these things that can be done. Livestock guardian dog, like Rose says. So yeah. And yeah, Ecocentric Homestead says, yeah, if you're a vegan, your homestead would be vegan. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. Like it's really simple. Like if you like how you are is going to be how your homestead is established, right? And so that's exactly how we are. Like we love things like quinoa, and we love sweet potatoes, and we love potatoes, and unfortunately we cannot grow avocado here, but if we could, we absolutely would. So there's things that we love, right?
And where avocado trees.
What?
We would have a lot of avocado trees if we could.
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to see if there's any other. Well, so there's lots of ways you can. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because there are trolls, and you guys are being great troll slayers. Thank you. You avocado. I love avocado. Sorry. Hello, along the river homestead. What's the weather like for you guys? They're 4 hours away from us.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Along the river homestead.
I'm trying to read this other comment.
4 hours away from us.
4 hours away?
Yeah, they're close.
Oh, okay.
Ish. They're close. And I wish you could buy plants. Wish you could come pick up some plants, but you're welcome to make the trip. Yeah, me too, Rose. So about the vegan homestead comment, I just wanted to say, like, you can live off of, like, you don't have to produce 100% of what you have to be a homestead. Like a homestead there is no definition. Like you look at a homestead, you look at what homesteading means, and it means like a dwelling. Like there is no real definition. So if you're defining homestead as being 100% self-sustainable, it would be hard to be vegan and to do that. And that's actually the vegan athlete is talking a little bit about that on his channel, because his goal is to be 100% self-sustainable. And so he said in a video, like he might not be vegan anymore, which is fine. If that's his goal, it's fine. So our goal is not to be 100% self-sustainable. We want to be self-sustainable as much as we can, but that's why we call ourselves a modern homestead, because we have some flexibility in, like, we use electricity and we use heat and we drive cars, and there are things we do so that we can have this life in the first place. So yeah. Anyways, that's, I don't have to add anything. Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to that opinion.
Yeah. Fine.
Brenda, I'm glad that you like those comments, and I'm glad that they're educational. I just think it's important. Like, I don't believe that being vegan or being vegetarian or whatever is what everybody is supposed to do. Like, I'm not the type of person who's like, yep, everyone should do this. This is the way to be, because I only see the world through my own perspective. Yeah, so.
That is super helpful alternative smallholding, because I had never understood what people meant when they use that in their channel name. I'm like, what is a small holding? What is that? What is that even referencing? Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that, small holding. I actually really like the UK terms, like, what is it called when you have a plot of land that the government gives to you to use for?
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh, I just heard it the other day. Who was it? It was the Lovely Greens. Lovely Greens, I think it was. Yeah, so you do you, and don't worry about others. Yeah, I agree. I think we only see the world through our own lens. And I think it's really important that when we have opinions and we have beliefs, to acknowledge that we're only seeing that through our own eyes, and that perspective is shaped by our lived experience, and everybody else has a different experience. Well, that's awesome, Laura. I'm glad that you subbed to us and that you like that about us, because I just want to be us, right?
Yeah.
In New York, the government would never. I know, an allotment. An allotment is so cool. Like, it's so cool that you can rent land from the government to use as a garden. Is it cool to you, or is it not as nice as it sounds? Because it sounds really awesome that you can just rent land and use it for gardening. I feel like I heard the other day someone said about Rochester, New York, there are too many community gardens. And I was like, are you kidding me? There are not too many community gardens in an urban environment. We need as many gardens as possible in an urban environment. Every house should have a garden, like, have access to, like, a community garden in their neighborhood. That drove me a little crazy. Thank you, Rose. I'm glad that you love that we are who we are. And our favorite vegetable, probably sweet potato. Does sweet potato count as vegetable?
Yeah, I don't know
it's a
where
tuber.
we're making this distinction here, guys.
Patty, lots of veggie recipes coming your way. I already posted two. I just poked myself in the eye. And oh, Mary, I love that. That's really cool. Like, God made Adam and Eve in a garden. Like, the garden brings us together. I think that's so true. Like, if you're gonna homestead, you really should have a garden. I think that's just, like, you need to eat plants. Not that you only need to eat plants. That's up to you. But I think a garden is just essential, and it teaches you so many skills about being a homesteader, and you learn so much from the plants in a way that, like, you can test things out on a tomato that you wouldn't want to test things out on an animal, because that animal's life is a little bit more valuable, in my opinion, than tomato. So I just think the garden is so essential, and yeah, so I think it's really important. That's fine. Totally up to you, Rose. If you want to block comment, it's not bothering me.
Yeah, we'll just skip over it.
But. Yeah. Let's see. You can go ahead and block. Offered garden space to others. No one has been interested. I want to do that too, Brenda, but I don't think people would do it because we live so far out of the city. I just winked. Yeah, I agree, Butter. You know what? There is so much to learn about God by growing plants. Like, for example, I just shared a video today, and I think some people were misinterpreting the video a little bit. The point of the video wasn't that, like, I'm afraid and this is stopping me from gardening. The point of the video is more that, like, the garden is bringing out fear, and it's, like, forcing me to, like, face fear in a way. And I think that, like, that is so true. Like, God, you know, we learned so much from the garden. There's Rose. You learn so much from the garden. It's a space where you see things die and you see things live and you see things. You learn you're not in control of everything, but you do have some impact. And it's just, like, I don't know, it's really beautiful. So, and you always have another chance, right? It's like each year. Rose, you're so funny. Yeah, so I don't know. I just love a garden. I think it's essential. I think every homesteader, I think every person should have a garden, and I wish that were possible. So, I would love actually to be involved with helping create spaces where everybody could have a garden no matter where they are. So we'll see how I could be a part of that. But
Yeah.
mwah, ha 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 ha. Rose the Slayer. Yeah, it's so funny. It's like Rose. Don't you have a moderator? No, it's not you, is it? It's like Vina, the troll slayer. It's like I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah,
she's
yeah.
just a moderator.
I was wondering where the name was from. That makes more sense.
Hello, Nikki's Drama Greenhouse. Pot and Perma Garden. Cool. I will look at your check out your channel. That's cool. And I'm sorry that you made it late because we're probably going to be hopping off in just a minute, but we can talk for a little bit longer. Hello, Stivers Homestead.
Speaking of making
how are your goats? I'm so happy for you guys. Yeah, the troll slayer. We had some trolls tonight. Pretty much did we have trolls last week too?
It's been getting a little bit more prominent the past.
Yeah, we've been getting some more trolls. Yeah. Honestly, guys, if you have challenging opinions,
yeah, we're not.
I'm totally up for challenging opinions. Like if people are like, I don't think this is right because A, like I'm fine to hear out challenging opinions. I actually like it because I love having conversations around ethics. And my core, like I do believe that like ethics are not always black and white. Like there are things that I do think are black and white, but we don't always know what those look like. So I just think that sometimes things are good for one person that aren't good for another. So if you have challenging opinions, like I'm totally up for that and conversation. But yeah, right. What you're saying, Rose, like it's like, are you having a conversation or are you just trying to be obnoxious?
He seems like he was trying to troll.
Totally.
He was saying things that were very intentionally trying to stir the pot.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Is it Jenn or Zach on right now? I bet they're so cute. I can't wait to see them. Oh.
How many did
they get two? They got a doe and a buck, right? Are you guys gonna get more? Because I think you had to like separate the doe and the buck, right? So I'm guessing you'll probably have to add some more. The trolls are not happy with challenging opinions. Yeah, like in order to have a conversation with challenging opinions, both sides have to be willing to be fair to each other. And I think that's important. Hey, Jen, how's your tea garden coming along? I think about you every time I look at my herbs that are growing. And I just planted borage. You should do actually, I don't know if you can do borage in a tea garden. But you know what I am getting ready to plant, and I'm forgetting the name of it. It's a white flower, and it's medicinal, and it's herbal, and it's sitting on my potting bench right now.
No,
I can't remember. Yarrow in your tea garden. Get that going. Let's see. Yeah, Homestead Cheryl, we should have great conversations. Honestly, I want this channel to be all about that. Like I'm gonna share us, I'm gonna do us, and if people have to disagree, that's okay. There's other spaces for those people, and they're also welcome here if they disagree. Totally. I don't want to only ever see comments where like, oh, that's awesome, or you're doing a great job. I want comments where it's like, can you answer why you're doing things this way? Because I think when you have conflict, when you have like two sides coming into conflict, that's where you can actually like make change happen. Yarrow, yeah, Yarrow. Yarrow is apparently really cool, really medicinal. So super medicinal.
Nikki's dream greenhouse. She asked about horses because she wants to get horses and how much space we give ours.
You do need horses. You could get mini horses. How much space do you have? Because we have more space than we need for horses. Because we have, we could technically use like, well, we're changing some of the land where there used to be 6 to 7 acres of pasture, and now it's less and less as we use more for gardening and food foresting and all of that. But yeah, we have them in we have 2 acre pastures, and then we have another like 1/4 or 3/4 of an acre that they're in the winter when the land is a little bit of a mess. So we have like 2.5 acres really that they're in, and we only have 1 full-size horse. So it's plenty. It's plenty.
Single dad homesteading. We're kind of in the middle.
We're in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the middle. We eat eggs and we eat honey. And we don't always follow things that are like less than 2% of. Like if something's like less than 2% of and it has like fish flavoring in it or like some tiny ingredient, like we don't always check those things. So because I just think that's it's missing the point sometimes. And
yeah, totally.
like my diet doesn't dictate my life. It's just a part. It's just a part of my life.
You can get caught up on rule following really easily where, I mean, we just kind of miss what your initial intention for making a decision like that is. So.
Totally. So yeah, we're mostly we're vegetarians. Yeah.
So we don't like putting labels on it because everyone just gets confused about it.
I know. Labels are so
you're not a vegetarian?
Labels,
so you're not a vegan?
Labels can be so constraining. There's no freedom. Like, because once you say you're this, then people expect that. And even if you feel like your values and goals are taking you in a different direction, then you have to like confuse everyone because you change your label and it's so confusing. That's awesome from what Cheryl was saying about high school friend. Yeah, I love I just love talking. Honestly, most of my friends are very, very different than me. And I just love talking about, like, a lot of them don't identify as having faith, and a lot of them are not vegetarian and, you know, don't have a farm and all of these different things. So moringa is very good for health. And I don't know. I actually have seeds. I got them at a seed swap, and I haven't grown them.
See, Renia, is that how you pronounce that? She asked
she told us last time. Our video on a tea garden. It's in a video called Garden Planning, but I didn't like fully talk about what I'm growing there. Yeah, butter. We call ourselves plant-based, even though technically eggs and honey are not plant-based. Like, we're plant-based. Like, yeah.
I like single dad homesteads comment.
It's hard to have a battle of wit with an unarmed person. It's true. Josh is on a roll.
Josh is kind of always on a roll.
Yes, he is always on a roll. That's awesome. Alternative smallholding and oh, also, hey, heirloom permaculture. You know what? Heirloom permaculture. I just shared your video in one of my blog posts today because I was making a blog post about things like it's a gift guide for a garden lover. And so I made a blog post, and at the end of the blog post, I talked about things you could make for a garden lover. And I searched cattle panel greenhouse, and your video was the first one to come up. So I embedded your video in my blog post. So hopefully if anyone sees the blog, which not very many people do, they will get linked to your channel and your greenhouse.
I want to address the Drew's comment about ribeye steaks because we hear the comments like that all the time. Like, I just love this too much.
Drew knows. We had a conversation where I was like, if you care, you can just.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, because I was the ultimate lover of steak.
Oh yeah, his favorite food was
steak. I love steak, so it's certainly possible. Is all I want to say. Yeah,
because honestly, like I want our life to be guided by values first and enjoyment second, so that those two things are in alignment. I want those things to be in alignment. And so that's just how we live, right? Our favorite tomato variety. Look at all these people answering. I love green zebra. I just think they're really cool. And the capsules. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Mary. Are you talking about something with moringa? Pineapple tomatoes are really cool. I'm growing a variety this year. Oh gosh. Oh, it's called Honey Drop, and it's like a sun gold, but it's colorful. So that's really, really cool. An herb bed. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, do you have any questions about our tea garden? I'd love to answer some before we jump off. Let's see. Laura is asking about cherry. I think the pineapple tomatoes is a full slicer. Yeah, I saw your video the other day, Josh. I didn't get to finish it yet, but I am really into smoothies these days. I want to make tons and tons of smoothies this summer and this spring and summer, and use a lot of greens from the garden. Rose, moringa smoothie. No, like if you blend any greens in a smoothie with like adequate other ingredients, it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't taste like anything, especially if you have a blender that really, really, really blends it up, then you don't get any pulp or anything. Let's see. Green zebra. I'm glad that you like green zebra, Nikki. It just got such almost like a citrusy taste to it. And it's so pretty. So I have a bunch of green zebra. I have 150, 160 close to 175 tomato starts right now, and they're all doing really well, which is really, really wonderful. And they've been hardening off. Like I've been hard on them, guys. I've been hardening them off a little too much, but I think what doesn't kill them will make them stronger. And they're not like doing bad at all. They've been out in some wind, they've been out in some rain, they've been out in some 40-degree temperatures, just because that's what the weather is here. Like it's very unpredictable, and I want them to be really strong for that. Okay, so what are we growing in the tea garden? I think someone asked that. We are growing all kinds of things. And I don't know where it's going to be. Like, I don't know how I'm going to lay it out. Right now, it might be just kind of a little bit everywhere, but eventually I would love to have maybe the tea garden in the food forest. And so it's more of like a section that's like dedicated to perennial herbs and annual herbs and different flowering plants. Yeah, so we're doing chamomile, mint, lemon, not lemon balm. I need to get some lemon balm. I'm going to buy a plant actually. Sage, things like oregano and thyme, but I don't know if I'm going to use that in tea. Echinacea, which is also coneflower, yarrow, rosemary, lavender. I want to plant some roses for the rose hips, like all kinds of things, really. I mean, and then we're going to eventually be using fruit, like dried fruit in teas as well, because you can dry fruit and then you can add it in tea, and it adds a really nice sweet flavor. Let's see what else is there. Well, thank you, Single Dad Homesteading. Yeah, totally. Like, honestly, my brother-in-law is a huge hunter. My sister is mostly vegetarian. Well, she's mostly vegetarian, similar to me. She's married to a hunter, and he eats a lot of meat. Like, we can all be in community together. Like, we were made different for a reason. I think diversity only works if we're willing to be in diverse communities together and not segregate ourselves from each other. So thank you guys for being here and for supporting us, even if you don't have the same lifestyle. Homesteads in the Highlands. Are we growing tea? Well, no, we're not growing tea in the tea garden because tea doesn't have a long enough season here. I might look into it a little bit more. Oh yeah, Brenda, they're only outside if the temperatures are 45 or above at night. And we actually, like, I don't know about where you're at, but we don't have any temperatures really below 45 at night in the next 10 days. So I'll be leaving them out a lot because it's easier. It's easier for me. Moving them in and out is such a pain.
So many trays.
Yeah. A guinea pig rabbit garden. Katie the cowgirl. We're doing a bunny garden too. I don't know where it's going to go. I might just use a raised bed and just like fill it with greens and fill it with some herbs. Okay, I'm going to make another tea garden video. That'll be on my list. I'm going to put it on my phone right now. Do you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, I can
while I do this. We'll hop off at like 8:30 because I feel like you guys are just so awesome. I just want to chat with you.
I know the time flies by so fast when we're talking with you guys, honestly.
I'm going to write down, what was it? Tea garden video. I have a list, guys. I have a list. Maybe I'll send it. Maybe I'll post it sometime and have people actually talk about what videos I should post first. Lemon balm, lemongrass. Lemongrass is so good. Same with lemon balm. I love that. Lemon balm just in water is amazing. It's so good. I really need to. It's thebomb.com. I also want to get a dwarf lemon and a dwarf lime tree and keep them in the grow room in the winter. In the winter. Let's see. Raina's family garden. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that compliment. I'm so glad that you like our channel. Yeah, it's interesting how everybody's bodies are susceptible to different plants, right? Like I have a hard time with, actually most things that we grow I'm fine with. It's really just like if I buy, like for example, some soy products I don't have a good time with, but I don't think anyone does because they get so processed. So Josh, we're all, I think when we don't feel like outsiders, sometimes we're just blending in too much. So I think we all are so unique and sometimes we just feel like we have to blend in. I think it's good to feel like you're on the outside a little bit because I think it means that you're just being yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing at Josh's most recent comment. How to know your different generations from your friends.
They add
I'm just the guy who
old
stands
strings.
by and laughs at the funny comments while Jen often talks.
Yeah. Ow. You're welcome. I'm excited to make the tea garden video. And you know what? I should bring, I don't know if the Stivers Homestead is still here, but maybe Jen from Stivers and myself can do a little tea garden collaboration because I know she's really excited about hers as well. Yeah, Brenda. So we have row cover, which is essentially like what you're saying. When we have like the hoops and you can put it over that. And so we could use that. It's really been really mild temperature wise. And so, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying being here, Hold the Walnuts. Like, feel free to contribute as much or as little as you want. And that's cool, ecocentric. Yeah, I think, honestly, like, it's balance, right? Like, living a balanced life is great. I love that, Cheryl. Yeah. People can be, I mean, it can be trickier when you're married to someone who's very different than you, but you can also find a lot, you can learn how to respect other people a lot more if the person you're married to is quite different than you.
Have you ever heard of this?
Chaga.
How am I trying pronouncing it?
Chaga?
Have you heard of it?
Chaga?
No?
No. I wonder what we can forage here, you know, like.
Yeah. Some poison ivy.
It's weird. There's a lot of birds outside. Don't drink poison ivy. Not a good idea.
Good night, Tiffany.
Good night, Tiffany. I know it's getting late here too, but we'll stay for a little bit longer. When we get a little outside that comfort zone, that is when we grow. I agree, Butter. Yeah, it's like if you feel comfortable where you are and the people that you're around all the time, I think that can be problematic because I think we need to expose ourselves to people who are different than us and to lifestyles that are different than us because I think that's what it's all about. So it is kind of awkward, Nikki, when people apologize for eating meat in front of me because I see it all the time. Like it's not like you can hide from it. So when people apologize, I'm like, the fact that they have to think about it makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, just eat what you want to eat, and I'll eat what I want to eat. Brenda is talking about growing something, and Mama Woods responded, and I don't know what it was. 8:21 here. Yeah, it's 8:21 here as well.
What do you know?
Because we are in Easter time. So Brenda, can you scroll up a little bit so I can see what Brenda's growing?
Yeah.
Keep going. Hey Deborah, how are you doing?
Where did she post it?
Rugosas. Okay, where can I get some, Deborah? Because I really want some. I went to a nursery the other day and they didn't have anything organic, and I want to find organic roses because I don't want to eat anything that's not. I don't want to put roses in our garden that aren't organic. Brenda. Stinging nettle. Stinging nettle, that's cool. I think I need to find stinging nettle. I think it's too early for us still. Oh, go home, Josh. Enjoy time with your family. That's awesome.
Yeah, seriously. Good night.
Oh, Rose, you're so sweet. Yeah. I love cooking meals for people that might be plant-based and people are blown away by them still being tasty.
Yeah.
Because
totally.
It's like, of course they're tasty. You know what I mean?
We like good food still.
Yeah.
We like having tasty food.
Yeah, of course. There's so many good seasonings and so many good vegetables and fruits and all of that. Whoops.
Sorry, guys.
Stinging nettle.
Dog. Why are you so excited all of a sudden?
Yeah, vegan food can be really good. I mean, it's just veggie, like, right? It's like so fun because actually.
Oh my goodness.
Can you just like have him lay down or something? One thing that I really am excited about one day, this is like my dream one day, and I'll talk about this in a future video, but I want to be able to eat lunch just straight from the garden. Like to be able to go out and pick our entire lunch and just eat like fresh food from the garden in the food forest. Like no cooking, no seasoning, just straight like natural whole foods. I think that would be so cool, like having lunches directly from the garden. Okay, perfect, Mel Woods. No apologies needed. Interesting, Katie. Yeah, it can be hard. Like sometimes there are like my coworkers, they'll always, bring in things to the office and I can't ever eat it. And I always feel bad saying that I can't have it. And it's just a kind of an awkward engagement because it kind of creates a barrier that I wish I didn't have. But at the same time, like I've chosen that and that's okay. So it's just kind of something I have to accept. Ooh, I'll go check out that video, Single Dad Homesteading. That sounds really cool. Yeah.
You guys noticed?
He falls asleep every night at like 8 o'clock, sitting on the couch.
I had to drive down to a site visit like an hour and a half away for work today. And on the way home, it's like the middle of the day, 2:30 in the afternoon. And I was honestly felt like I was starting to doze off. I actually stopped and pulled over for a little bit. I did. And just rested for a second because I'm so tired.
Yeah. Well, we'll hop off in like 2 minutes. I just want to finish answering some questions. And then we'll hop off because this guy, you still wanted to do stuff tonight.
Yeah. Got stuff to get done.
Oh, okay. Ryan does do the same thing, Rose. He totally did that in the live where you guys did that Google Hangout. What do we use for fat oil? Coconut oil, olive oil,
vegetable oil.
Yeah. I want to find some, I want to use some better options. Like I know grapeseed oil is really good. Sunflower oil, excuse me. There's lots of things like that. Brussels sprouts roasted are amazing. I don't know who doesn't like those. They're so good. Beardy dude falls asleep anywhere. That's hilarious. Hey, how are you doing tonight? Yes, Mama Woods, being gluten-free at work. Yeah, I am like 75% gluten-free. It's kind of weird because sometimes my body reacts to it and sometimes it doesn't. So it can be really hard to stick to it because I don't know. Lately, I haven't been having issues with it though, which is making me test the boundaries a little bit. And if I can eat it, that's fine. Stringy kale. Massage it, I've heard. That sounds really strange. But you actually like take the leaves and you massage them and it makes them less tough. Sauteed kale shouldn't be stringy. My nose is really itchy. I think I have a bug bite on it.
We know how to treat that now.
Vinegar. Okay, well, I think we're gonna hop off now. But red palm oil sounds interesting. But thanks for spending time with us tonight, guys. It was so fun to just chat with you. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk with you. The cats are fighting. Oh, those are birds.
Bird? Yeah, sorry, weird sounds.
So wait, next week we will not be here next week.
Yeah, we will not.
We are not going to be here. So we'll talk to you.
We can, but
probably not.
We'll see.
Probably not. So we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And I hope you guys have a wonderful start to your spring.
Bye, friends.